Take a good, hard look at this face. Zoom in, enhance. What do you see? She looks like the human equivalent of oatmeal. Beige, bland, and totally harmless. She's the type of girl who probably has a live laugh love sign in her kitchen and reminds the teacher to collect the homework. She is giving off massive NPC energy, right? Just a background character in the simulation. But surprise, bestie, because behind those dead eyes and that crisp blue uniform lives the absolute top one server of real-life villains. We are talking about a woman who decided that saving lives was too mainstream, and instead turned a neonatal unit into her own personal horror movie set. Today, we are deep diving into the story of the Beige Angel of Death, a nurse who makes the Joker look like a therapy dog. Strap in, grab your emotional support water bottle, and prepare to be absolutely disgusted. Because this story is so unhinged, it's going to make you want to fight the air. Our nightmare fuel begins at the Countess of Chester Hospital in the UK. It's supposed to be a safe zone, a place where tiny humans come to start their free trial of life. But around 2015, the vibe in the neonatal ward shifted from hopeful to straight up cursed. Babies who were stable, healthy, and ready to go home started to get unalived at a rate that defied all logic and statistics. We're not talking about tragic accidents here. We're talking about a sudden spike in mortality that had the graph looking like a crypto pump and dump scheme. The monitors were screaming, oxygen levels were dropping faster than my bank account on payday, and nobody could figure out why. It was like a glitch in the Matrix, but the consequences were permanent. Enter our main character. Let's call her Nurse Beige. She was the ultimate pick-me employee. Always on shift, always volunteering for overtime, always standing right there by the incubator when things went south. While other nurses were taking breaks or actually having a life, she was hovering over these cribs like a spectral vulture. The senior doctors, let's call them Doctor, Detective, and Dr. Sassy, started to notice a pattern that was completely sus. They realized that every single time a baby crashed, Nurse Beige was the only common denominator. It was like she had a premium subscription to bad luck. Or spoiler alert, she was the one causing it. She was basically camping the spawn point, waiting for the doctors to leave so she could do her thing. But here is where the story gets so frustrating. You'll want to throw your phone across the room. When the doctors went to the hospital management, the suits who sit in air-conditioned offices counting pennies to report their suspicions, they got shut down hard. The management was so obsessed with the hospital's reputation that they basically gaslighted the doctors into the shadow realm. They were like, no, she's a nice girl. She's top one server in nice comments. You guys are just bullying her. Plot twist, right? The hospital executives actually forced the senior consultants to write a letter of apology to the killer. Can you imagine? You catch someone acting sus around dying babies, and your boss makes you say sorry to her. That is a level of corporate toxicity that is completely outplayed. It's giving gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, but in the worst, most tragic way possible. So, while the management was busy protecting their star nurse and ignoring the massive red flags waving in their faces, she went on a spree. She was injecting air into the baby's veins, force-feeding them milk until they couldn't breathe, and messing with their insulin levels. It was a silent massacre, and she was getting away with it because the system was too broken to stop her. She even had the audacity to send sympathy cards to the grieving parents. Thinking of you, she'd write, while probably sipping tea and feeling like the main character in a tragedy she wrote herself. She fed on the drama, the tears, the chaos. It was her fuel. She was literally farming grief for serotonin. Finally, after way too many tragedies and enough I told you so moments from the doctors to fill a library, the police were called in. The Blue Boys arrived and they launched Operation Hummingbird. When they raided her house, they expected maybe a dark dungeon or something. Instead, they found a teenager's bedroom. We're talking teddy bears, fairy lights, and pink duvet covers. But don't let the coquette aesthetic fool you. Underneath the bed and in her bags, they found a treasure trove of cooked evidence. She had stolen hundreds of medical handovers. She had confidential documents about the babies she killed and hoarded them like trophies. It's giving serial killer hoarder vibes. But the real mic drop moment was when they found her diary and post-it notes. This woman literally wrote confessions on neon-colored sticky notes. I am evil. I did this. I killed them on purpose because I'm not good enough to care for them. Hate. It was like a glimpse into a brain that had completely She wasn't just negligent, she was malicious. And get this, the digital forensics team found out she was stalking the parents of her victims on Facebook. She would look them up on Christmas Day, on the anniversary of their child's death, just checking in to see if they were miserable enough. That is some final boss psychopath behavior right there. Searching for your victims on social media while eating toast. Totally unhinged. The trial was a marathon of madness. She stood in the glass box looking like a librarian who got lost and tried to deny everything. She cried fake tears, blamed the plumbing, blamed the doctors, blamed the phase of the moon, but the prosecution came locked in. They laid out the timeline, the insulin records, the door swipe data. It was a mountain of evidence that proved she wasn't just unlucky. She was a calculated predator. They even exposed her weird obsession with a married doctor at the hospital. The theory is she was hurting babies just to create a crisis so he would come running, and they could have a moment over the crashing incubator. Imagine unaliving a child just to flirt with a guy. That is down bad in a way that needs a whole new dictionary to describe simping so hard you become a serial killer. Huge L. As the evidence piled up. Her nice girl mask started to slip. The prosecution highlighted how she would try to attack the same baby multiple times if they survived her first attempt. She was persistent, I'll give her that, but in the most demonic way possible. The tension in the courtroom was so thick you could cut it with a scalpel. While the parents of the victims were sobbing, she stayed mostly cold, showing more emotion over her own ruined reputation than the lives she snatched away. It was the ultimate red flag behavior. She really thought she could talk her way out of it because she looked innocent. In the end, the jury didn't buy her poor me act. The hammer of justice came down, and it came down hard. She was found guilty of multiple counts of murder and attempted murder. The judge handed her a whole life order. That means she is never, ever getting out. She's going to rot in a cell until the end of time, with no parole, no second chances, just for walls and her own twisted thoughts. It's a permabond from society, and honestly, it's what she deserves. She will die in prison, and the key has been thrown into the ocean. This whole case is a grim reminder that monsters don't always look like monsters. Sometimes they wear stethoscopes, have a live laugh love vibe, and offer you a shoulder to cry on. It's a wake-up call for institutions to listen to whistleblowers before things go Tikang Cheyenne completely south. Trust your gut, folks. If someone gives you the ick, there's probably a reason. So, what do you guys think? Was she a cold-blooded mastermind or just a broken person who lost her mind? Was it the system's fault for ignoring the doctors? Drop a comment below and let's argue in the comments section. If you found this recap KHT and it kept you on the edge of your seat, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you don't miss our next deep dive into the world's craziest stories. Stay safe, stay suspicious, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace out.